that he often fell into, a bastardized technique that he had worked up over the years, and which probably did neither of them justice. It involved repeating the mantra he had been taught while holding his breath for as long as he could, letting it out as slowly as possible, and then holding it out for as long as possible before taking another breath. Sometimes swapping out the mantra for counting down from 10 instead. It produced a pleasurable physical sensation as his stomach contracted and his fingertips and legs tingled, became weightless, and lifted off from the rest of his body. When this happened, he would try to picture the anxiety, the excess energy running out along his limbs and exiting through his extremities. But none of it ever really worked. Right now, it had calmed him a little, perhaps. His grip on the armrests felt less violent, but it wasn't stopping the spasming, the sweating. Nor was it blocking out intrusive thoughts, wasn't distracting him from what was happening to the plane, or to his body. Not for more than a second or two. So he also tried holding on to certain images or scenes. One of these images, which, each time he managed to grasp it, he tried to detail more finely as a way of holding on to it longer, was of Clara earlier that day. She had been wearing a dress with a print of large blue flowers against a faintly yellowed white. He hadn't seen her in that dress for a long time, several years, at a guess. It looked good on her, but it was the way she'd moved in it, the way she'd appeared at the door when he got home, excited, and disappeared back into the house, moving swiftly through the rooms, still packing, that made him think of it. How different she'd seemed. As in real life, the Clara in his head had a few cotton threads hanging down the short sleeves of the dress onto her arms. She had cut the sleeves back when she got it, and never bothered to hem them. He focused on these. How many? How long? The freckles on the pale arms beneath. They were in the kitchen. He curled his fingers around the threads, tore them off, one by one, as he had wanted to do ever since she'd cut them. Sometimes, at this point in the fantasy, he lost it. It floated back up. Her dress would slip off, too, somehow, and she stood naked before him. He could not picture her well like this. Then they had sex, on one of the kitchen chairs, like they had never done in real life. He could not picture her well like this either. He couldn't picture either of them well like this. He had to redo the scene several times to get it right. How it might actually work, technically, without the usual embarrassments, and in any other scenario than in their bed or, perhaps, once a year, on the couch. But against the fear, against the sudden jolts and drops, against his legs shaking uncontrollably, convulsing really, trying to, helped. When he wasn't able to hold on to images or scenes such as these, he squinted. This was better, he found, than completely closing his eyes, where, in the darkness, things too easily catastrophized, the lurching, the overcorrections, and also better than having them fully open, where he could see what was happening to the plane, their once wonderfully stable, sturdy-seeming plane that had run fixedly through the air, like a train along invisible tracks towards Denpasar. Squinting, there were things he could focus on without seeing too much. The upholstery of the seat in front of him, the screen, now blank, mounted upon it, the tray table stowed beneath that. Through the curtain of his eyelashes, all this swam in filmy, vertical lines. In contrast, he could just make out Clara's face was frozen in an expression of delight. Her face was turned to his, but she was looking out from the corner of her eye, down the aisle, towards the front of the plane, as if she had woken and turned to say something to him, found him asleep, and her thoughts had drifted. Or perhaps she had become distracted, mid-thought, by the escalating turbulence. Clara had always loved turbulence. It was a strange